Good day, everyone. Welcome to Emotions and Stories. Our fourth story on this series is called Zoya's Garden of Snow. In the quiet town nestled in the snowy valleys of Kashmir, where the rooftop wore white hats for the half of year and trees stood bare like sleeping giants, lived a girl named Zoya. She was 10-year-old, with cheeks that stayed pink from cold and voice softer than snowfall, while other kids ran off to pelt snowballs or slip across frozen ponds. Zoya preferred staying indoors with her books, her colored pencils, and her grandfather's stories. Dada, she often asked, curling up beside him near the Bukhari, the traditional wood heater. What does the spring look like in other places? Dada would close his eyes and smile. Where I grew up in Punjab, he said the mustard flowers bloomed like yellow blankets over the fields. Mango trees, tall and proud, offered fruit that tasted like sunshine. Mango trees? Zoya whispered. I have only seen them in pictures. But one day, he said, patting her head, you'll grow your own too. She giggled. In Kashmir? Mangoes? Who knows? Dada winked. Magic happens only when love is planted. One day while scrolling her mother's old phone, Zoya stumbled upon a blog called seedstory.in. It was run by a boy in Mumbai named Arjun, and it documented the growth of a mango sapling he named Chandni. She was fascinated. Every post felt like a story, from seed to sprout, from storms to survival. Zoya read every entry twice. Her favorite post was titled, Magic Doesn't Mind the Mess. It Grows Anyway. She sat up that night sketching a greenhouse with mango trees, snow gently falling outside, and children dancing under hanging fruits. The next morning, she wrote Arjun a message. Hi, I live in Kashmir, where everything is white. I want to grow something colorful. Is that possible? His reply came the same evening. Magic grows where you feed it. Want to try together? With the help from Arjun and a little encouragement from her mother, Zoya began clearing out Dada's old greenhouse, which hadn't been used since she was born. The glass panes were dusty, the doors creaked, and the weeds grew from cracks in the floor. But to Zoya, it looked like a sleeping kingdom waiting to wake up. She swept the floor, cleaned the glass, and decorated one corner with hanging fairy lights. On a small wooden shelf, she placed pots made of recycled tins and painted jars. In each one, she planted different seeds: coriander, spinach, tulsi, and one mango seed Arjun had mailed her in a padded envelope. She named it Noor. Days passed. Snow fell heavy outside, making the world quiet. The greenhouse warmed by the sun and small heater Dada rigged up solar panels became Zoya's favorite place. Every day she'd bring warm water in a flask, pour it gently and whisper to Noor. I know you are not used to snow, she said, but I will keep you warm. She even painted a board outside the greenhouse. Zoya's Garden of Snow. Entry by smile only. But hope doesn't always bloom easily. After a week of snowstorms, Zoya came into the greenhouse one morning and found two of her pots tipped over. Crack in the glass had let the cold in, and the soil had frozen. Noor's tin had shifted and the surface hard as rock. Zoya's hand trembled. No, no, no. She ran to Dada sobbing. I really tried, but maybe mangoes don't belong here. He wrapped her in a shawl. Bita, sometimes plants look like they've stopped growing, he said gently. But underneath the soil, they are fighting to stay alive. You have given it warmth, love, and light. That's enough. Now let it rest. Zoya didn't go to the greenhouse for 2 days, but on the third morning, something tugged her heart. She walked into the glass door slowly, unsure of what she'd find. Everything was quiet. The crack had been patched. The plants looked still. And then she saw it. A tiny curl of green peeking from the side of Noor's tin. A sprout, delicate, determined, and alive. Zoya knelt down and placed both her palms near it. You came back, she whispered. From that day on, Zoya became the snow gardener of her town. She wrote letters to Arjun sending photos of Noor and the other plants. They started exchanging tips, poems, and plant facts. Soon kids from the school joined in. They'd visit the greenhouse, help her water, and even donate jars and seeds. Each child planted one thing and wrote their name next to it. They called themselves the winter gardeners. By spring, Zoya's garden had over 30 pots, all blooming inside the little glass haven. She had coriander from her mom's curries, spinach for her school's lunch wraps, tulsi for her grandmother's chai, and bright yellow marigolds for everyone. And Noor, her mango plant, stood 6 inches tall with 2 big glossy leaves that looked like they have drawn by the sunlight itself. One day, a local school inspector visited their class. Anyone here doing something creative this winter? Zoya shyly raised a hand. That afternoon, the inspector visited the greenhouse. He was so impressed that he took photos and sent it to the National Kids Art and Innovation Competition. Zoya forgot about it. But 2 weeks later, she received an envelope in the mail. It was a certificate and a postcard. The postcard showed a drawing, a boy in Rajasthan painting a tree in the sand. On the back, 4 words, "Your garden inspired me." It was from Ishan, an orphan boy in Jaisalmer. His story would bloom next. That night, Zoya sat by Noor and whispered, "You may not give fruit for years, but you have already grown something amazing. Even in difficult conditions, hope can bloom. Love can care, create miracles where we least expect them." We hope you like this little story. Stay tuned for what's in next. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.